Story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
This is CoreTV News with Nifemi Oguntoye. The federal government has shifted resumption date for both public and private schools nationwide to October 13. Education Minister Ibrahim Shekarau met on Tuesday with State Commissioners of Education over the development. He also met with officials of the Health Ministry. Deliberations centered around Ebola and how to stem its spread. Speaking before the closed-door session, the Education Minister noted that the disease is too serious to be treated with levity.
The Ebola matter, the apprehension, the concern of the community, the parents, and all those of us in the education industry. But for us to be well guided and to be well informed, our ministry decided to invite the people in charge, that is the Federal Ministry of Health, to address us, tell us what Ebola is all about, what measures we need to take, not only at our personal levels, but in particular as it concerns the innocent children that are placed under our care. Because this is our most important primary responsibility. The well-being of the children that are placed in trust in our hands. And we have the moral responsibility to ensure that before recalling these children, we put in place measures that will assure parents that there is safety, and we allay the fears of the parents.
Nigeria now has only one known case of Ebola virus, 208 days after the disease was brought into the country by the late Liberian-American Patrick Sawyer. This is because 2 of the remaining patients have been discharged from the isolation ward in Lagos. Health Minister Onyebuchi Chukwu discussed this at a press briefing in Abuja.
Today is the 38th day since the Ebola virus disease was imported into Nigeria by a Liberian American. As of today, the 26th August 2014, Nigeria has had 13 cases of Ebola virus disease, including the index case. Of these 13, 5, including the index case, unfortunately, did not survive the disease and are now late. However, 7 of the infected persons were successfully managed at the isolation ward in Lagos and have been discharged home. 2 of the treated patients, a male doctor and a female nurse, were discharged yesterday. Both of them primary contacts of the American, Mr. Patrick Sawyer. Both of them were discharged yesterday evening, the 25th August 2014, having satisfied the criteria for discharge. As I speak to you, Nigeria has only one confirmed case of Ebola virus disease, a secondary contact of Mr. Patrick Sawyer's and spouse of one of the physicians who participated in the management of the index case. She is stable, but still on treatment at the isolation ward in Lagos.
Now that the number of Ebola cases in Nigeria is down to 1, the federal government wants Nigerians to maintain a high level of hygiene to avoid an outbreak of the disease. Information Minister Labaran Mako told journalists in Abuja that good hygiene would help reduce the risk of contracting any disease. He also urged Nigerians not to panic about the Ebola virus, saying government is ensuring that no citizen is infected.
Weeks of hard work, weeks of tedious planning, movements. This really has been very, very significant for the country. But I would like to say something here in relation to the public. You know, in Nigeria, once you say something is under control, people just begin to get wild again. If there is any benefit we have had from the intrusion of Ebola, into our nation, it's been the public health benefits in terms of environmental hygiene and personal hygiene. The campaign for hand washing, the campaign for using sanitizers and keeping the environment clean has been very, very useful. And today is sinking down, in our nation more than ever before. We do not want this to relax at all. I believe this is something that should go on beyond the Ebola epidemic. Because, like it's been noted here, there are other diseases that we have been preventing as a result of the personal hygiene campaign, especially hand washing, which has been on a long time ago. Just that it got more emphasis as a result of the Ebola epidemic.
The Lagos state government has again provided status update on efforts aimed at curtailing the dreaded Ebola virus disease. The State Minister of Health reiterates the collaborative containment and case management efforts of the state and federal government at a meeting with journalists in Lagos. Anita Faturi has more.
Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Jude Idris, says distortion of facts and outright falsehood being spread on the social media has been a major challenge, creating unnecessary and unavoidable anxiety and worries within and the polity.
A critical and pervading challenge is the issue of rumors and false stories being disseminated, especially via the social media. These continue to create unnecessary and unavoidable anxiety and worries within the polity. They have the capacity to undermine the efforts being made to contain and manage this outbreak, as those who ought to present themselves for treatment may get discouraged. Malign government in the face of residents and first stigmatization of individuals and businesses.
321 contacts, according to him, have been screened and tracked, with 159 others discharged on completion of the 21-day surveillance.
Cumulatively, there are 13 confirmed, including the imported case and 1 suspected case. The suspect case is awaiting confirmatory test results to inform the next line of action. Currently, there are only 2 cases, 1 confirmed, 1 suspected, in isolation at our treatment facility in Mainland Hospital, Yaba.
He, however, emphasized that there is a need to report every death and obtain Ebola-free documentation to facilitate the transportation of outbound corpses from the state.
Under these circumstances, there is a need to report every death and obtain Ebola-free documentation to facilitate the transportation of outbound corpses from the state. Those deaths that have genuine documentation, proper death certificates, they need to be given some kind of documentation here for them to allow them to move out of state for burial to other states.
The commissioner warns the public not to stigmatize all cases and contacts that have been given a clear bill of health and urges them to facilitate their reintegration into the society. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Olisa Metu, has donated 1 million naira to efforts to stem the tide of Ebola in the country. While presenting the check to Minister of Health Onyebuchi Chukwu, May2 says the donation is meant to support the federal government's fight against the deadly disease. He also called on the other kind-hearted Nigerians to join the crusade against the prevention of Ebola virus. President Goodluck Jonathan led members of his cabinet to pay tribute to former Information Minister Dora Queenly at a Requiem Mass. The Mass, which was held at Our Lady Queen Cathedral Area 3 in Abuja, also had former Head of State Yakubu Gowon in attendance. Speaking at the event, Jonathan described the later Queenly as the embodiment of selfless service.
Today, our dear sister Dora has left us, but to my brother, Dr. Aquili, I've also listened to Bishop Cooker's sermon on the virtues of a good wife, characteristics of husbands. We have to thank God. For my children, the children of our late sister, yes, we are mourning your mother. It's not easy for you to lose such a mother, but you should be very happy because her works, her interactions with men have given you an identity that silver and gold cannot give you. Her addressing, she's a Nigerian woman wherever she goes. Her character and disposition. Her love and passion for the country is a lady that will hardly leave our memories. Let me also condole my countrymen and women, because Dora is one of these few Nigerians that have made the whole country proud. I thank you, my brothers and sisters. May her soul rest in peace.
You're watching CoreTV News on the Hour. More stories coming up shortly after this break.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Members of the Enugu House of Assembly on Tuesday impeached the Deputy Governor of the state, Sunday Onyebuchi. Onyebuchi's impeachment followed his indictment of a seven-man panel of inquiry, which investigated allegations leveled against him by the lawmakers. The panel in its report held that Onyebuchi was guilty of the allegations brought against him. Members of the House adopted the report of the panel after the House leader, Ude Okoye, moved a motion for its adoption. Ude Okoye, who sponsored the motion on notice alongside 21 other members of the House, noted that the motion was in line with the provisions of Section 188, subsection 9 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which provided for the removal of members of the executive arm of government. The motion called for a resolution of the House to consider the report of the investigation panel on the allegations of gross misconduct by the Deputy Governor, and that the House, having carefully considered the report of the investigative panel, adopted it. Onyebuchi was accused of running an illegal poultry in his official residence, an offense according to a resolution of the House, and also refusing to represent Governor Suleiman Chime at official functions in spite of a directive from the governor. The Deputy Governor had, however, denied the allegations, insisting that he was witch-hunted for expressing an intention to contest the seat of the Enugu East Senatorial Zone, which is set to be reserved for the Governor's Chief of Staff, Ifeoma Onwobodo. As the People's Democratic Party in Osun State prepares to file its petition to challenge the victory of Rauf Aregbesola at the August 9 governorship election, the second advisor to the legal committee of the PDP, Bolarinwa Abidoye, has dumped the party for the APC. He also described PDP's case at the tribunal as dead on arrival. Rashid has more in this report.
It is in the norm of politics in Nigeria to experience defection, especially when a major election is on its way. But it becomes spectacular if such happens after the election. Bolarinwa Abidoye, until his defection, was the legal advisor to the Osun State PDP and the secretary of the PDP's legal committee. Welcoming Abidoye amidst pomp and pageantry at the APC secretariat, Boyega Famodun, the secretary of the party, says Abidoye's defection is a vindication of Aregbe's victory.
He's joining the party for what the party is and what the party has achieved. Abidoye has been a politician in the state, and he has been watchful of what has been going on before, during, and after the election. So he's coming over to us today. It's a vindication of what we have been saying. It's a testimony to the hard work of Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola.
B. Adelowo, the chairman of the APC in Osun, says the coming of Abidoye is a homecoming for the former legal advisor, as this points to his progressive mindset.
If the legal advisor of the party, PDP, is coming to us and he's telling us this is the truth, that there's no point going to the tribunal to waste his own time, that I'm coming over to join the party, good party, that I want to join government that's going to develop this state. So it's not just, he's not a pushover person. Not somebody is joining the party for the based on its principle, based on the fact that the PDP lost the election, guaranteed. And this is the party that won the election. That let me go and join and make the states for better.
As the PDP heads for tribunal, Abidoye says PDP loss in August 9th election is natural. Thus, its loss at the tribunal is imminent.
With the result of the election, it is clear, convincingly clear, that some people have spoken. It is left for the tribunal to determine. But what I know very well is that cases in court are not fabricated. They are placed on facts and figures. The facts and figures on ground shows that Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola has won convincingly with people's vote and genuine vote of some people. And I think whatever the decision of the tribunal will be at the end of the day should not be discussed at this level. But what I know is that nobody can fabricate anything at the tribunal level.
With an arrowhead like Abidoye abandoning the PDP challenge at the tribunal, one can only imagine the outcome of the case the party intends to file to challenge Aregbesola's victory at the August 9th governorship poll. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
Meanwhile, the Osun State People's Democratic Party has described as unfortunate the defection of its former legal advisor, Bolarinwa Abidoye. The publicity secretary of the PDP, Bola Ajao, in Osun State, says Abidoye's defection points to the fact that he has been unfaithful to the PDP prior to the August 9 election.
It's unfortunate that he had decided to do what he did. What is most unfortunate is that this is coming barely 16 days after the gubernatorial election. And this will put to very serious question his commitment to the party ab initio. The success, the victory that awaits PDP at the tribunal, he has nothing to take away from it. I assure you, we have unassailable evidence on ground that will unearth all the iniquities surrounding the so-called victory of our opposition.
That Abidoye's defection would not in any way dim the chances of the PDP at the tribunal. Away from that story, President Goodluck Jonathan on Tuesday engaged the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Adamu Muazu, and some state governors elected on the party's platform in a closed-door meeting. The agenda of the meeting, which was held inside the presidential villa Abuja, was not disclosed. None of those who attended also spoke with journalists at the end of the meeting, which was also attended by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Pius Ayim. The PDP governors who attended the meeting include the chairman of the party's Governors Forum, Godswill Akpabio of Akwa Ibom State, Leah Lemoke of Cross River State, Ibrahim Shema of Katsina, and Ibrahim Dankwambo of Gombe State. Lagos State government says there is no intention of reversing the state traffic law. Governor Babatunde Fashola stated this at a stakeholders meeting with transport operators in the state. Abiola Oluwole was there. His report is presented from our studios.
In the words of government, the enactment of Lagos Road Traffic Law in 2012, which barred commercial motorcyclists known as Okada riders out of the 10,000 roads in the state, has to a larger extent curbed crimes and avoidable loss of lives. The stakeholders meeting is organized to find a common ground between government and motorcyclists in the enforcement of the law. Speaking on behalf of the commercial motorcyclists, Ade Kweson pleaded with the state government to relax the enforcement of the law in areas like Ikorodu, Ekpe and Badagry. He also decried incessant harassment of their members by law enforcement agents across the state.
We are not restricted. Even they go to houses at night. Some have one first time. I want to where policemen went to houses at night 2 a.m. to wake up a ride and took their ride back home. Is that part of enforcement? And several other cases.
Clarifying that the traffic law is meant to ensure safety of residents, Fashola asserts that the Lagos State government will not sit back and watch commercial motorcyclists breach existing law in the state.
If the road, no pedestrian can walk because you are doing business. It can't be like that. And the complaints we get is that some of the members are not saying all. So I want to clearly understand some of your members ride their motorcycle dangerously. Some of them have got death. On the road in broad daylight, it was the motorcycle that they used, driving against traffic, shot a medical doctor, and jumped on the other side of the road and drove away against traffic.
The governor, however, taxed them on voluntary compliance to the traffic law.
Story outside Nigeria is next in this bulletin after this timeout.
Glad to have you join us another edition of The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people.
Give me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed.
So anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of our own state and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on CoreTV News.
Welcome back. The presidents of Russia and Ukraine hold key talks with little hopes for a breakthrough in the conflict pitting the former Soviet state against pro-Russian separatist rebels. Kiev ratcheted up tensions by announcing hours ahead of the talks it had captured 10 Russian soldiers on its territory, while Washington accused Moscow of escalating the conflict with repeat military incursions. Poroshenko and Russian leader Vladimir Putin are due to meet in Minsk alongside top EU officials and the leaders from Kazakhstan and Belarus in a bid to defuse tensions that some fear could trigger direct hostilities between Russia and Ukraine. U.S. National Security Advisor Susan Rice slammed Moscow for military incursions into Ukraine using artillery, air defense systems, tanks and troops, representing a significant escalation in the conflict. Kiev Security Service says paratroopers from Russia's 98th Airborne Division were captured about 50 kilometers, that's about 30 miles southeast of the main rebel stronghold of Donetsk. Kiev has long accused Moscow of stoking the separatist insurgency raging in its east. But this is the first time Ukrainian authorities have claimed to have captured soldiers from the Russia's regular army. Moscow has repeatedly denied any involvement in the rebellion in Ukraine and demands Kiev halt its punishing offensive. And that ends the news this hour. Join us again at the top of the hour for more. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being there.